Almighty God, grant us the courage of Jesus Christ, your Son, to face the coronavirus pandemic with trust, strength, compassion, and resiliency. Give us the grace of the Holy Spirit to free us from fear and anxiety so we may do actions of help and support and look forward to our healing with hope. We pray for the health workers, food liners, maintenance cleaners, logistics abler, government leaders, and volunteers who continuously come together to deliver our daily needs to survive. Guide us from this time of crisis. Preserve us in peace. Protect the weak and vulnerable and those who serve the society during this pandemic. This we ask and pray in Jesus' name, our Savior. Amen. Naghahatid saya sa mga Pinoy, mga kantang tatak Pinoy. Kahit nasan ka man, kami ay mapapakinggan. Streaming worldwide, the future of reggae in Manila, California, and Hong Kong. This is V81 Radio.
Malayo ka man sa iyong pamilya, dito ay hindi ka nag-iisa. Tiyak ito'y iyong hahanap-hanapin, dahil ito ang nagpapasaya sa atin. Pinoy panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan. Oh, V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Dahil mahal namin kayo. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio. Ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko. Dahil mahal namin kayo. Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program anchors and producers and do not necessarily reflect the policies and position of this station.
Hey everybody, welcome back to yet another interesting episode of Mysterium After Dark. Now, with all this lockdown stuff going around right now, there have been a lot of concerns. A lot of people have been wondering about their jobs, people were wondering about the spiritual side of things, they've been wondering about the economic side of things, the political side of things. But there's been one topic that has been very close to my heart, and that is the fitness side and the health side of this entire lockdown period. You see, personally speaking, I'm an individual who loves going to the gym. I mean, I cannot go at least one day without it. It's really important to me. And if I miss days, I really feel that's kind of like taking a toll on me. But the minute lockdown happened, my entire fitness journey was turned upside down. I mean, I don't get to go to amazing jiu-jitsu training with Apex Philippines. I don't get to go to my gym and work out with my friends there. I don't get to do rolling with my friends. I don't get to have the treadmill like I did before. And this begs for me to ask, like, well, what can I do? And if it wasn't for people like our guest tonight, I probably would have gained 30, 40 pounds already, because one of the easiest things to do right now during lockdown is just lie around and eat and watch Netflix. So it's my honor tonight to have one of my dearest friends in the world as our guest tonight, where he'll be discussing fitness during quarantine. Welcome to the show, Coach Paulo Encarnacion. Hey, buddy, Paulo, how you doing?
Hey, Rob. Thanks for having me on, man. Glad to be back.
It's an honor, man. Okay, so what's the score, man? I mean, the fitness world has been turned on its head. It's like the
Oh, definitely. Snap. I mean, it's one of the major industries that have been hit. I mean, gyms have ceased to exist as we know it for the past couple of months, and there's a lot of jobs have been put in danger, not just the fitness industry, but everywhere else. But I think today our audience would be better served by talking about their own how they're personally affected with this crisis in terms of fitness, at least.
Exactly. So I wanted to ask you, as a professional fitness consultant and coach, what was the battle plan? I mean, you've got students of your own, you've got people who need to train, who need to work out, but now we can't. So what do you suggest to people off the bat in order to maximize this downtime we all have?
Well, it's really hard to make a recommendation, because not everybody has equipment at home. Not everybody has the space at home, right? Not everybody has the time. Well, people have a lot of time now, I would argue, but mostly it's the resources and the space, right?
Yeah.
Most people don't have the luxury of having a yard to train, or even I have a client whose only workout area is 1 square meter. That's it. That's all we have. No room for pull-ups, no room for whatever. Yeah,
but you still make something happen off of that, right?
What do you mean?
In other words, you said you don't have 1 square meter to work, so you could still
Oh,
make
yeah.
something happen with 1 square meter, right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. We're actually in our 8th week of training right now, so
So you're still
that
training
hasn't
this
stopped us.
person
Oh, yeah,
outside of the
definitely.
gym.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
That's that.
And
So it's possible. It's really possible.
definitely.
Okay,
I
so
would.
let's put it the most minimal scenario possible. Because like me, when COVID hit and everybody was getting locked down, everybody's running to the supermarket. I was running to the sporting goods stores. I was buying everything I could get my hands on because I said, "There's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to survive a lockdown if I don't get to work out." It used to be okay because you used to be able to walk. Now you can't do that. So let's say in the worst case scenario, you got a 5x5 cell. What do we do to stay fit?
It's actually interesting that you mentioned that 5x5 cell analogy, because if you think about it, all of us are in prison right now. We're all of us in jail, right? So if we were talking about like minimalist ways to stay fit, we're talking body weight here, right? At the
Body
very
weight.
least, right? So the basic
So like, what are some of the
exercises that,
easiest exercises?
well,
Like one fat guy like me, what can I
yeah.
do?
Well, you're lucky. You got a treadmill. You ordered a treadmill
I
off the
just got
internet.
it
You just had it.
yesterday.
Yeah, he just got it yesterday.
Oh yeah, I got it yesterday. I haven't had it before that. But then like, what if I have nothing at my disposal? What is one workout that you can say I can swear by this?
Easiest, I would say, is get a jump rope. Learn how to jump that freaking rope. Yeah.
Okay. Now looking at me on a jump rope would be like looking
Well,
at
that's not you.
a walrus
For
on a
you, we were able
treadmill
to
would be
get.
very
For you, we were
disturbing.
able to get a treadmill. But let's say you weren't able to get a treadmill, and let's say you didn't have a compound that you could
Yeah.
walk in, right? What I'd be having
Yeah.
you do is just simple jumping jacks, maybe, but limited. Seeing as you're an
Jumping jacks.
overweight guy, all of that force coming down on your tendons is not that good. So actually, fitness, now's a good idea. Now's a good time to make a distinction between fitness and health. Actually, okay. So the
Yeah.
difference is, if you're just trying to lose weight, right? You're trying to be healthy.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that you need to
Yeah.
be exercising, right? In your case, it's just, sticking to the diet even more. And you got no excuse now, because nobody ain't going out to no restaurants, nobody ordering takeout, nobody ordering food. So yeah, I would say
Mhm.
in your case, we would have focused on diet more.
So diet more. So like right now, if a person was
Well, we're
locked
not
up
talking
in this
about that. We're talking
scenario,
about fitness.
would you say you want to give emphasis on what they're eating and fix that, or you want to give or do you want to give emphasis on the actual workouts? What do you think would be more important?
Well, if your goal is to get stronger, then you should definitely still keep training. If you want to keep all your muscle gains that you built up before the lockdown, you should definitely still be doing your exercises. But now more than ever, it's actually easier to stick with to go with fat loss, because number one, everybody's eating inside. So you know exactly what you're
Mhm.
eating every single day, at what time. Nobody's missing meals.
Mhm.
So it's actually easier to control for the daily calorie intake. So with this, it's easier to lose fat, actually, with this lockdown.
Right now, so it's a lot easier to lose fat.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason that you're gaining weight is if you're lying to me or you're cheating, right?
Exactly. So like example, if I'm telling you, no, I ain't eating nothing, but I got like a bag of Doritos under it, and that's going to cause a
Exactly.
problem. Okay.
Exactly.
I wanted to ask though, but I was actually reading that one of the biggest problems is popping up nowadays that with people being locked up at home and being all anxious about that some people are actually overtraining. What's your take on that?
Really? Some people are exercising
Yeah,
20,
I read it. Like they're bored, so like, okay, I'm going to do a full body workout in the morning. I'm doing a full body
Yeah.
workout in the evening, and I'm going
Oh,
to do
but just like what you
I'm
did
going to do
today.
jumping jacks at 2 in the morning. No, I was come
Like what
on.
you
I
just
mean,
did.
it's just it's
No, I mean, no,
very
okay,
funny.
so
We don't
that's
talk about
that's a
personal
very,
stuff on the air.
very rare case. I doubt if many people are doing
Mhm.
that, because number one, it's just not sustainable, and number two, there's overdoing anything isn't really that good. So just don't do it. Stick to reasonable amounts of exercise. Reasonable being what, an hour of, uh, maybe not even an hour, 30, 45 minutes of just moving, whatever you can do, 3 times a week.
So, like, what are
Doesn't even
some,
have
like,
to be
let's say, the
every day.
top 5 exercises you could recommend aside from jumping jacks? Like, say, I got nothing, got no gym, no nothing at home. I just want to get into better physical condition. What are the 5 things that you could say I can do without anything?
So we got the jump rope here, or does that count as one? Or
That
does that
they
count?
might need that. Some people might not find
Okay,
a
so
jump
we're
rope.
gonna do.
I mean, like you
All
give me a
right, all
jump
right.
rope, I'm
So
likely to hang myself.
number
with
one,
it.
we're gonna do just skips in place, jumping jacks, imaginary
Uh-huh.
jump roping, if you will. That's one. The second one
Mhm.
is my favorite push-up. That
Push-up.
exercise is never gonna go out of style. All the versions of the push-up that you can do. Number three is your squats for sure.
Number three.
Single leg, double leg, jump squats, all of that stuff. Number four is your standard burpee, right? And you can even
Mhm.
add your push-ups there. And number five is whatever ab work you feel you like to do. Because not everybody,
So
I'd
like
throw pull-ups in there, but
crunches
not
and stuff.
everybody has a pull-up bar or can do pull-ups.
Yeah, like I can't do no pull-ups. All right, now,
Yeah.
what would you say about nutrition like nowadays, especially now that everybody's just locked up? Is there such thing as over? Well, there definitely is such thing as overeating. Would there be such thing as undereating? Like you're not eating enough?
Mm, yeah, but that wouldn't be such a problem though, because number one, you'd end
Oh,
up losing. Actually, people before this lockdown, I still think that people tend to overestimate the amount they're eating every day. So when you're saying what this that they might be under eating, they might be actually just in the sweet spot of what they need on a daily basis to lose weight. So it's not that big of a problem.
really? So it's better to eat less than to
Unless
risk eating
like
more,
unless
then,
you're
right?
eating 2 slices of white bread every day, then that's where we need to talk about some other things. But I don't think anybody's doing that.
Yeah, I assume you're getting starved if that's the case. Okay.
We can try,
Some
and
people though
then
are
we'll let our.
okay. The thing about it is this: a lot of other people though, because they were allowed the proper facilities back in the day, because like they had gyms and stuff like that. All of a sudden, they don't have it, and they're afraid that they're going to lose their gains. Will these 5 workouts that you recommend maintain those gains, or will we need to add a little bit more to that?
Again, it's context, right? Obviously, if you were hoisting a monster deadlift in the gym and you don't have plates now, nothing that you can do, no matter how many jump squats you do, you will never be able to train the same muscle groups or the same motor pattern as you were when you were deadlifting X number of pounds. That's just not going to happen. But we're talking relative, we're sort of doing damage control here, right? We're talking about the minimum level of activity that people can and should be doing while they don't have access to the regular fitness equipment. So it's completely unrealistic to demand or to expect the same adaptations and gains that you had if you don't have the same equipment around you.
So basically, you can't have the same expectation at home the way you would in the actual gym with like the deadlift bars and all that stuff, and the squat rack and all that.
Oh yeah, definitely. But that being said, if you do have equipment available to you, like some of these functional equipments like bands or kettlebells or free
Mhm.
weights, dumbbells, all that stuff, then we can come up with some substitutes for barbell exercises and vice versa. Some people are really lucky; they have a full gym set up way before the lockdown.
Okay, let's say it like this. Let's say that I'm on the market of purchasing some things for myself because, like nowadays, a lot of the major distributors and sporting goods stores are actually willing to deliver. It's like literally they got on the curve already, and like
Oh,
I can
nobody's
get
got a
stuff from
choice.
Toby's. Yeah, exactly. If not, they're gonna go
They
out of
got the
business.
monopoly.
So, what would you say? Yeah, what would you say would be 3 of the most essential things that I should buy in order to maintain or even better my fitness?
Well, let's assume that we're talking limited space here, right? Because not everybody
Yeah,
has
very
a
limited space.
3-story house. Limited space, okay? I would say if you had a square meter of free exercise area with, reasonable ceiling height, get a kettlebell.
Mhm.
I mean, you know
A
me,
kettlebell.
I'm the kettlebell guy, but
Well,
there's a
I
reason
know that,
why.
but the audience doesn't. What is the
Yeah.
purpose of
There's a
having a
reason
kettlebell? What are
why.
the benefits
There's
of
a
working
reason
with a
why
kettlebell?
that tool will get you the most number of benefits in the least amount of time relative to what people don't have right now. You know.
Okay. So, like,
Uh,
what are some of the
so
benefits I can get by working with a kettlebell?
well, I brought you one of my kettlebells when the lockdown started, and one of the main things that you can do with it is you can train your strength and your cardio at the same time just by swinging the thing.
Mhm.
Get them it's hard to give general recommendations, but usually trained males can start with 16 kilo, maybe heavier females, maybe at 8 kilo or 12 kilo. And then there's tons of instructionals online that you can follow.
Or
Everybody's
experience with
online
technical
now.
difficulties. Okay, that brings me to my next point. If I'm just starting with kettlebells and I'm a guy or a girl, what would you recommend to be the sweet spot? Because like if it's too heavy, it's going to be useless, and if it's too light, it's also useless. So like, where
Yeah,
would
like I
you
said,
kind of
it's hard to
average that
give
out?
a general recommendation, but I think 16 to 20 kilos for guys and then 8 kilos to 12 kilos for girls should
Mhm,
cover 80% of what you need in the beginning at least.
mhm.
Yeah.
And then like one of those can be a whole range of workouts. Am I right? I see some people have two though. Is it recommended we have two, or is one just enough?
If you have the budget for it, go for two. That'll give you more options down the road. And it also means more weight that you'll be lifting. So another plus.
So one of the benefits, like what I heard you say, is that by working with kettlebells, I'm working both cardio and strength at the same time. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. And do you want to explain that a bit to me? So because like I kind of get it, but I'm talking for the on behalf of the viewers here. Like, why is it that this technique, unlike just a straight up bench or some dumbbells, works cardio and kettle and strength at the same time? What is the how do I say input of that? Wow, we have a lot of viewers.
Oh, well. Okay, so today, I mean, with the kettlebell, the reason I say that it works your cardio and your strength at the same time is because of the design. You can't swing any other tool. You know, it's just awkward to. You can't swing a barbell physically. You can't swing a dumbbell. Well, you can, but it's super awkward.
Yeah.
And the kettlebell, the design, it just transitions into so many other moves seamlessly that you can go from one exercise to another totally uninterrupted, and you can keep going until you drop. Right. So that component, that nonstop component of being able to do one exercise after the other, is the cardio component, and the strength component comes from the weight of the belt that you're lifting. The heavier it is, the more you're training your strength.
And this is a service that you offer online to clients nowadays. Am I right?
Correct. Everybody. It's the only service anybody's offering these days, man.
We get cut.
Hello.
Okay, because like the thing about it is this, like I'm sure that yeah, I'm sorry, just the internet's kind of wonky nowadays. I don't know why. It's probably the heat and everybody's just using it at one time. But that being said, like how's it been transitioning from live one-on-one trainings to something that you're dealing with like online, you're doing with Zoom and stuff like that? How has that changed your training pattern?
Well, most of my in-person clients are still have moved online, so I have a very good history of working with them. So it's not really that been much of a challenge. But recently, I've had a couple of new clientele coming in who have no experience with the tool, and it's a bit of a challenge to get them to become familiar with the kettlebell.
But you still offer the results, right?
Oh, definitely. The medium just adds that extra
Is this
layer
a-
of.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, the being online just adds this extra layer of not being able to be with them in person and make that automatic correction or coaching cue, but it's better than nothing. We're able to get similar or even better results with video, actually, because the playback allows us to pause, rewind, and then I can tell them exactly what they're doing wrong, and then it'll be easier for them to correct next time, because in real life we don't have slow motion or pause.
Exactly. So like basically nowadays, if we're going to do a session together, it's like I'm recording you, but you're also recording me, right? So you can look at the things I do wrong, and
And
you
you
can tweak
have
it.
this recording for the rest
That's
of your
amazing.
life.
That's because like a lot of people get privates, but then they completely forget about it. I mean, like one
Yep.
thing I'll say to the viewers out there is that getting a personal trainer and a fitness consultant was the thing that made the difference between me succeeding in losing weight and just experiencing what we call in the industry as fuck around Titus, which basically is I'm just messing around, not really getting anywhere with what I'm doing. I mean, I'm walking around the gym, taking photos and just sitting around looking at the wall. I'm not working. But one thing I'm very proud of with Paulo is that he kind of prepared me unconsciously for this COVID, because there came a time like a year ago, I needed my coach. I wouldn't mind paying a certain amount every month for a coach to tell me what to do. But towards the tail end of the freedom of mankind, had to become more and more dependent on myself and not dependent on a coach. And he became less of a manager and more of a consultant. So is that an approach you want to have with your clientele? I mean, do you want to empower them to handle their own fitness eventually? Or do you think that a coach should always be there telling their coachees what to do on a regular basis until the end of time?
Well, two things there. Number one is I want to give you mad props for what is your fitness journey so far. Developing your level of autonomy and independence has been a pleasure to watch. So good on you for that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, man.
Yeah. And then the next thing is, well, from the very beginning. From the very beginning, this is what I aim to get for each of my students anyway, because I view my role as what's this sort of a tour guide in their fitness journey. I mean, most of the things that they need to get fit or whatever they want, or if they whatever fitness goal they want to reach, they're probably already doing it. I'm just the guy who puts everything else in order and holds them accountable for it. So eventually, I want each and every one of my students to be totally independent. Now and then we'll do some accountability checks, because everybody needs that. You know, everybody has the odd question once in a while, and everybody needs to be to have somebody else look over their shoulder on to check their work. But as a whole, I think that every person is totally responsible for their own fitness.
You know, speaking of which, let's check the chat room right now. We've got some people saying hi. Shout out Chai Cruz from Dubai, for Brunei. Thanks for watching. Shout out for watching from Doha, Qatar. Ramil Batara, thank you for watching. And this is Michael Altar. Hello, good evening. And of course, Janine Rubin. This is such good knowledge, always, especially right now. Thank you, Coach Paulo. So, wow, interesting people on the show. All right, this is one industry that I wanted to ask you about. One area of the fitness industry that I really am, like, my heart goes out to right now are the strongmen and the power lifters. How do you get your fix as a strongman or as a power lifter? Because that's actually what got me hooked in fitness. I actually started getting serious because of powerlifting. Shout out to Coach Pat for that. But then I actually made the mistake that, like, this was getting me strong, but I wasn't losing weight because I was getting the strongman bod. I was like, wait, now I want to shift towards weight loss, and you came along and set me on my path. So that being said, if you're a power lifter or a strongman right now, how are you getting through this? Are you like lifting cars? Are you like bench pressing cows and stuff? What's your take on it?
Well, if you can lift your car, why not? It's good for deadlifting.
Deadlift your car. No, but really,
yeah,
how do you think the
even
power
before,
lifters are getting through this time right now?
Well, honestly, I've seen. Well, number one, most powerlifters I've seen or know already had their home gym set up way before this, because powerlifting is a solitary sport, right? So mostly people just train alone in their garage with minimal setup. They have their plates, they have the barbells, and that's it. But they're not hard hit by the current situation. Other than that, I think just there's no other substitute. Just get yourself a set of plates, a bench, a bar, a rack, maybe. Yeah.
There you go. All right, we're about to go on our first break, but before we let you go, I'm going to ask Coach Paulo a question. He's going to answer it when we get back. It's been announced that the heaviest boxing match in history is going to be a go for next year, 2021. Hathor Thor Bjornsson versus, what's his name? The other strongman? He's going to
Eddie
kill
Hall.
me for forgetting. Eddie Hall. I mean, like, this scares me, man. These two giants, like, the first punch alone, there's going to be a crack in the earth. And I want to know Paulo's take on this, but we're going to get this when he comes back. We're on a special lockdown episode of Mysterium After Dark here with Rob, my special guest tonight, one of my dearest friends, Coach Paulo, the fitness consultant, right here on Mysterium After Dark. Stay tuned. We're going to be back after a few minutes. Maestro, take it away.
Technology allows us to explore a variety of opportunities. So why not grab one for you? Kickstart your online business with Big Benta. Create an account, visit our store builder, then make your online shop. Be visible, gain customers, and run your business hassle-free. Plus, enjoy the support of our local merchandising team to maximize our platform. Make technology work for you with Big Benta, Pinoy e-commerce site made for you. After this pandemic, let's support the Filipino community. Buy local, visit local, go local. Kabayan, nahuhomesick ka ba? I-download na ang aming mobile app at mag-enjoy sa mga kantang tatak Pinoy and feel like you're home. The V81 Radio mobile app, available in the App Store and Google Play Store. V81 Radio mobile app, free now, free forever. You got space? Be a host at BK's. Let that room, condo unit, resort, hotel, or event space bring in profit for you. Have those rented out for a short-term vacation or long-term stay. Earn while offering your space to be someone's home away from home or an area to make new memories. Only at BK's. Log on to bks.ph now. After this pandemic, let's support the Filipino community. Buy local, visit local, go local. Tunog Pinoy, Tatak Pinoy, the future of radio. This is your all-hits, all-Pinoy internet radio station. This is V81 Radio Worldwide.
Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan. Ito ang radio ko. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Dahil mahal namin kayo. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio.
And looks like we're back to the lockdown episode of Mysterium After Dark. We're talking tonight with my dear friend, Coach Paulo Luis Encarnacion, kettlebell enthusiast, and of course, professional fitness consultant. Welcome back, brother.
Hey, man.
All right, so the question was, it's the biggest boxing match in history, Hather Thorbjornsson versus Eddie Hall. Two of the most powerful powerlifters that have ever come across the sport. Who do you got winning this one?
I don't know, man. It's the mountain, isn't it?
The mountain, yeah.
It's the mountain, so I think I'm gonna put my money on the guy who gouged out what's his name? That
Oberyn Dice.
Oberyn Martell.
So you're going for the mountain.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%.
Okay, well, I think he's the more popular of the two, but I mean, observing it, I've seen that actually Eddie Hall has a bit more experience in boxing. So it's still, I wouldn't want to be hit by either of these guys. These guys, if they hit you with a clean one, that's going to be your face caving in. It's like, ugh. You know what? Everybody's saying that the biggest problem they're worried about this match, can you guess what it is? There's one problem in this match. Cardio.
Yeah, so that's what I heard, right? There, one round is going to be 10 seconds, and then the rest is 3 minutes in between, and then they're going to go for
they're going to be like just saying like the first. No, it's gonna be like 30 seconds the first round of them just demolishing each other. Then they're just one of them's gonna collapse. That's just what I'm.
Yeah, have a heart attack.
Because they're too big. I mean, the bigger you are, the harder it is to move. So it's something of epic proportions. I mean, shout out to Coach Pat, my powerlifting coach. He actually got photos with both of them when they came here to the Philippines. So like right after he posted that photo, it was announced that this fight was going to happen. It's like, damn, I wonder who they're going to get to be the referee. Some small referee between these two big ass guys.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hate to be in the middle of those
And it cut
guys.
out again. All right.
Am I back?
So here's the next question I wanted to ask you. It's about nutrition and dieting. For those who don't know, Paolo is one of the masterminds over my weight loss, and he had very little to do with actually the workout aspect of it because his specialization is kettlebells. Okay, and that's not necessarily my interest. My interest has always been more on jujitsu and powerlifting. However, where Paolo's utility came into play was he actually hacked a lot of the mistakes that I was making with nutrition. Okay, timing my food, amount of food, when I eat, what I eat, etc. And that being said, this is a service I know that you're offering now professionally to people. Tell me a little bit more about this tactical nutrition of yours.
So yeah, the thing is, I always, I've always had the what this idea or the belief that 90% of the people that are in the fitness sphere who are looking to lose fat or become fitter already know what they need to do, right? I mean, if I asked you
Mm-hmm,
about IF, you could probably tell me more about it than I know, right? But the
mm-hmm,
difference is, I mean, the area where things fall apart is why aren't you with this getting the results you need? And that could be for different
mm-hmm,
reasons. Number one, it could be adherence for one reason or another. When your progress stalls, you just what's this? You tell yourself, "Well, fuck it, it's not working. I'm gonna
mm-hmm,
let's just move on to another diet." But that's where I come in. I'm there to interpret the data that we're gonna go collect together, and then we're gonna come up with a solution that is completely unique to you because what is everybody's in a unique situation, and the way that they're going to deal with these different obstacles is completely different, completely unique to each person, and that's
mm-hmm.
where I come in, coming up with unique solutions to unique problems.
So basically, you're like a custom nutrition consultant. You customize the nutritional needs of people based upon their lifestyles and what they do. Am I right?
Definitely. I mean, the easy way to do it, the do it yourself way, would be to just get on a meal plan at X number of calories below
Mm-hmm,
whatever calculator told you to get and then stick to it. But that's so depressing. I mean, it could work for a couple of months and
yes.
then what? Don't get me wrong. It's worked for a lot of people. I've met a lot of people who have been successful that way, but they're far and few.
Like a lot of people struggle with the maintenance of these things. Why is it that some people have the tendency, or most people just can't sustain it? They just fall off the wagon and they're just like, forget it. Just I give up. I mean, and they'll try to compensate by working out harder and pushing themselves more. But like they say, abs are built in the kitchen. So why is it that most people can't seem to, continue with these things?
Well, number one is, I think, expectation, mismanaged expectations. The most common thing that people look at is the scale. And if the number's not going down,
Mm-hmm.
then the diet's a failure, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the scale is just one thing, and it doesn't tell you if you've lost some fat on your ass or if you've dropped some inches
Mm-hmm.
around your belly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I gather as much relevant information as we need or
Mm-hmm.
as is reasonable for whatever type of client I'm working with, and I help them interpret that data so that they don't what's this they don't come up or they don't have unrealistic expectations of where the progress should or shouldn't be. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Actually, Andrew's on the chat talking shit right now. Lies. Abs are built from
Hey, Andrew.
malnutrition. Okay, coming from the guy
No,
who has
man.
abs coming out of his
Nutrition
abs,
abs
dude.
abs are built from being Vietnamese.
Yeah, exactly. Having that Viet Cong blood in you, man. You beat the Americans, dude. Jeez. That's why you got abs. Anyway, okay, here's the thing. Let's share with them. Let's share with the audience a bit about what we did. Like one of the things that you and I do in our plan is that I am required to take my weight not once a week, but every day. And then you have this thing that you get the average weight within the week to see really where my average weight loss. Why is it that you look at the average number and not the actual number?
Well, because daily weight can fluctuate up or down, could be anything from zero point 0.5 pounds to 15 pounds, depending on whether last night was your friend's bachelor party and you just totally forgot that you were on your diet. Or it could be the
Uh
chakras aligning to gain for allowing you to gain
huh. You're
20
using
pounds
that
in
again.
one night. Yeah. So the reason I track the average is, well, I mean, the human body is built on averages, right? It's never going to be on the outliers. Like you're not get, no matter how much you
Mhm.
eat, if you track your weight over the course of a year, you're never going to be more than what's this certain number of pounds over or under. It's just not going to happen, and that's why we track the
Yeah.
average, because the average gives us a more realistic range of weights that we can look at, and from there we base
And this is one of
our.
the services that you offer professionally, right?
Oh, yep, definitely, definitely.
Because like another thing I've noticed is like people will like sometimes think that they're uber successful because they lost 8 pounds, right? It was like, hey, I lost 8 pounds. Yeah, I did it, man. And then because of that, they gain 15 pounds right afterwards. And it becomes a very evil cycle, which what messes with people's heads. So that
Mhm.
being said, for those people who would just start with you and they just want to begin working with this tactical nutrition and tactical dieting, what kind of a diet would you put them on? Because I know you've got a lot in that machine gun of yours. You've got IF, you've got keto, you've got macros, you've got green face, you've got velocity,
I
and
got the
don't get me
chakra
started
diet.
on the velocity diet. So like, where would you start a person if they like had no interest, no background, but they just wanted to get into it and lose a bit of weight? Where would you get them started and why?
Well, if you've noticed when you asked me about the service I offer, like the nutrition consulting, I didn't mention any particular diet, right? And that's because
Mm-hmm.
all of them have
Yeah.
value. All of them have success stories, and all of them have failure stories too,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what I'm more concerned with is the behavior of a specific person that I'm working with, and each person has their own
Mm-hmm.
unique strengths and weaknesses that will help or hinder them to reach their fitness goal. And that's what I look at. And from there, we can go into the specifics of which diet they prefer, or what type of eating schedule they prefer, because people
Mm-hmm.
have different preferences. Some people like smaller meals spread throughout the day. Other people, like myself, I settle on what's this, two, maybe three big meals, one or two, sorry, one or two big
Mm-hmm.
meals just throughout the day. So it totally depends. I look at behavior and adherence first, and from there determine what type of eating strategy will work best.
Because like I mean, you being one of my best friends, we've tried so many diets. We've had meal delivery, we've had keto, we've had green face, and then we kind of came to an agreement that IF is what got it started, and then we started tweaking the IF. I mean, there would be times where you'd say, Robert, it's your birthday tomorrow, so after that I want you to go on a 24-hour fast. What is the logic of the 24-hour fast?
Well, the 24-hour fast is, again, we're talking about averages, right? So let's say it was your birthday and you
Mm-hmm.
decided to enjoy yourself a little bit more than usual on a normal day. And just having that 24-hour fast automatically gives us a denominator of two. So let's say you ate 6,000 calories on your birthday. If you do the 24-hour fast, we divide that number
Mm-hmm.
by two. Effectively, we get 3,000 calories a day, which is probably maintenance for a guy of your size. So instantly,
I
we've been
see, I
able
see.
to
Because like
reduce the number.
that's the thing. That's a tricky thing to do though nowadays. Because like especially with the lockdown, I actually can do the 24-hour fast if stuff's going on. But if I'm just sitting at home and I'm not going anywhere, it's very tempting. You're very tempted just to look at the refrigerator. Do you understand? So like for
Well, that's a
somebody who wants
completely
to
different
successfully
issue.
do the
That's a
24-hour
behavioral
fast,
issue. Sorry,
hmm
keep going.
so how do you address behavioral issues? How do you address behavioral issues? Because like if you ask me, if we were doing normal days, I can do a 24-hour fast, easy. I mean, I can do that as long as I get out of the house, I can avoid food, and then at the end of the day, when we hit the fast time, I can eat. But if I'm here at home and I'm just sitting around and I start getting hungry, I'm just left alone with my hunger. So, how do you handle behavioral issues in your consultancy?
So behavioral issues I found are best solved, or well, they're directly tied to physiological issues, right? You've mentioned hunger. Okay. Hunger and fullness are two very different things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what the first thing that we actually do is I advise my people, my students or clients to just pay attention to what they're eating, to pay attention to how much they're eating. Usually, they're not
Mm-hmm.
eating enough. That's the first thing. right? Because if you find
Mhm.
yourself completely satisfied at every meal, you'll have a much longer, you'll have a much easier time with this to just mm, not be hungry, not find yourself hungry the next couple of hours after the
Mhm.
meal. So that's one thing. Just eat satisfying meals. As to the amount, that
So
depends
have
again. Yeah,
because actually I wanted to ask you, like, because back in the day when I used to get meal delivery, the meal deliveries that worked were the ones that have made me feel satisfied. But there'd be sometimes those meal deliveries that even if the food is good, nabitin, you understand? I feel it wasn't enough. And then I'm left with this horrible emptiness inside of me. So is that a sign that the meal delivery I'm using wasn't working for me?
well, no, probably just for that particular day. It was tasty, yes, but maybe the amount wasn't enough because fullness and satiety, what this feeling of being satisfied, are completely unrelated. You'll notice how, what's this, maybe after a really good dinner, maybe just a cup of ice cream is all you need to do the trick, and you feel full. Some days, even if you consume a gallon of ice cream, you feel hungry still afterwards, right?
Hmm.
So there's a psychological component to it too. It's not just the amount or the taste. It's a lot of things interacting.
I see. Because like one thing that a lot of people are struggle with, especially when they're trying to lose weight, is cravings. Because like cravings can get really like, oh my god, they can get very demonic, for lack of a better word. So how do you help your clients address cravings in your program?
It depends again with the answer, but let's talk about specific cravings. For example, somebody just wants is craving for a piece of chocolate. Hello, are you there? I think I lost you, Rob.
Sorry, I got cut for a second.
There we go.
Yeah, continue, please. We were talking
Yeah,
about.
so we were talking about cravings. So usually people will be craving for a very specific thing. My position
Mhm.
is that I hate deprivation. Deprivation is like a no-go for me.
Yeah.
So my my strategy for that would be to just let them have it, but in controlled amounts.
Um, so basically, you let them have what they want, but it's in moderation. Am I right? So that at
Definitely.
least it doesn't get into the psychological side of them, right?
Hmm.
All right.
Correct.
So anyhow, for those people who are interested in having services with you, how can they reach you?
They can send or they can visit my profile on Instagram. It's I am Kettlebell Man, and all my work is posted there.
All right. So that's I am Kettlebell Man on Instagram, right? I am
Instagram,
Kettlebell Man. One word
all one
on
word, and
Instagram. So
all
and
small
and and
letters. Or
all one
or
word.
you can also send me a direct email to start a conversation with me regarding my services at iamkettlebellman@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. So I am kettlebellman at gmail.com. So anybody who's interested in partaking of these services of Paolo, which is very much worth your time and money, visit Instagram, I am kettlebellman, or I am kettlebellman at gmail.com. All right. So for the last 5 minutes of the show, I just wanted to ask you, just going to pick your brain on certain things. How do you see the new lockdown culture, the COVID reality affecting, let's say, the fitness industry as a whole in the next couple of years? I mean, are we going to see a massive shutdown of gyms across the world, the country, for like a long time, or do you think the gyms are going to bounce back, or is it going to be like focused more on community or personal training or private training? How do you see it's going to turn out in the end?
I can't speak for the industry as a whole because it depends on so many things. Number one, first and
Mm-hmm.
foremost, is whether they find a vaccine in the near future, and that will determine a lot of
Mm-hmm.
what's this a lot of things for a lot of industries, not just the fitness industry. But what I can tell you for sure is that if this quarantine or lockdown has taught us anything, it's that personal responsibility is the most important thing that uh, and that you should be able to establish, especially now that you have nobody else to rely on for your fitness. It's just you. There are no external motivating factors of being seen at the gym in your colorful gym clothes or peacocking at the gym. You have Instagram for that, social media, but that's besides the point.
So many people do that.
The point is now is that how bad do you really want to get the results that you want? That's it, with nothing else on the table.
So basically speaking, anybody who comes out of this quarantine lockdown time looking better, basically you said that's an aspect of personal responsibility, am I right?
Correct. For those that can and have the resources to stay fit, there's no reason why you shouldn't.
Yeah, you told me something that you're going to be posting on your Instagram page, a personal workout people can do, so that if for lockdown, it's like the 5 recommended workouts by Coach Paolo. When can you have that available on your Instagram page?
We'll be putting that up in the next couple of days, just editing the final touches on that video, and then we'll throw it up.
So it's going to have video, but you were telling me like before the show that you're going to have like a photo or like the basic workout Instagram graphic, right? So they can expect that in what, 2 days, 3 days?
Yep. Before the weekend.
So for those of you guys who want to, and okay, let's say that we followed these 5 workouts. We did it diligently every day, and we ate moderately. Okay, which is something I don't know how to do, but we ate moderately. What can we expect from these 5 exercises? Can we lose weight, get stronger? What can you say?
You'll definitely feel better about the progress and the discipline that you've put yourself through, right? And that's worth more than any superficial gains that you make. That's also pretty nice, and that will reflect the level of discipline and attention that you've brought to your process, to your own personal improvement process regarding your fitness and your dieting.
Amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap up the show, I just wanted to give my own thumbs up on Coach Paolo's services. It's the little things that count between me and him. I get a message from this bastard every day saying pick, which means he wants to see a photo of me on my scale. Okay? And he demands it. I can easily send him a message saying, I'm at this weight. No, he wants the damn photo. So I probably ate up 7 gigs of memory on his phone. But the thing is, having someone there to monitor it, to monitor the progress, am I going up or am I down, brings it to the mindful level. One of the reasons that we lose weight, they say, because you let yourself go, right? People like to say that. You let yourself go. Having somebody like Paolo in my corner has prevented me from letting myself go, because at the end of the week, I get a spreadsheet and he says, hey, dude, we're up 0.5. You got to start being more serious. And I'm like, oh, crap, I better start watching what I eat, better work out more, better do more things. So I cannot but give the highest recommendation for Paolo's services. And if you guys want to see the difference between what I looked like before starting with Paolo and how I look now, check my Instagram page, Project Super Soldier. All of the photos there were because of Paolo's guidance. I've had some good coaches like Coach Ali Sulit for Jiu-Jitsu and Coach Pat for powerlifting, but the technology behind it that helped me lose weight was really Paolo's doing. So guys, check him out. Send him a message. This guy can change your life. So that being said, Paolo, I just wanted to thank you so much for being part of the show tonight. It was such an honor. And that being said, stay safe, brother. Thank you very much, okay?
Thank you. Stay safe. See you around.
Keep losing weight, brother. Maestro, take it away. So thank you very much. I guess we're going to end the show now.
Tunog Pinoy, Tatak Pinoy.
The future of radio.
This is your all hits, all Pinoy internet radio station. This is V81 Radio Worldwide.
Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy.